Hello and welcome back to the House of the Stag YouTube channel. Today it's time to talk about The Witcher Season 2. I finished binge watching it yesterday, so I'm still processing everything. George and I plan on doing a separate podcast discussion on Season 2, so stay tuned for that. Please also note that contrary to the A Song of Ice and Fire series, I did not read Sapkowski's Witcher book series yet, so this is more of a casual, laid-back review. I'll split this review into the good and the bad, and start with the good, which is very fitting for this one. At the end, I'll give it an overall rating from 1 to 10. Without further ado, let's get right into it. First things first, I'm so glad that the episode structure was done in a more linear way this season. While separate timelines and flashbacks can work, following the events of Season 1 was quite hard for someone who did not read the books, so that's a huge improvement in my opinion. We start Season 2 with the best episode of the entire show in my opinion. Episode 1 does a great job in portraying one of The Witcher's biggest themes this season, the question of what makes a monster, and it also very specifically concentrates on showing Ciri's own battle within herself. The episode also features the best action scene in my opinion. To my understanding, this episode is an adaptation of one of Sapkowski's short stories, which would explain why the pacing in this episode was so different. If you've been following us for a while, you know that I appreciate a slower pace in storytelling. I like it when the focus is on dialogue and building up relationships. So naturally, the scenes we have with Ciri and Geralt, especially early on, are among my favorites in this season. Henry Cavill is a phenomenal Geralt, and Freya Allan is also a very good pick for Ciri. They also did a pretty good job in bringing some of the prominent locations to the screen, at least for someone who only knows this world from sacrificing a couple of months playing Witcher 3 Wild Hunt.
Hungry, not thirsty, but I sure wouldn't mind a round of Gwent. Actually kinda in the mood for cards. Care for a round of Gwent? Wouldn't mind a few rounds of Gwent. Ever play Gwent? Gwent?
Kaer Morhen looks great, so does Sintra, and I like the overall set design and world building in this show, especially if there is not as much CGI involved. This gives me hope for Skellig in the upcoming seasons, which is my favorite location in The Witcher 3. The dialogue is pretty much hit or miss throughout the entire season, but it's pretty good whenever we got scenes with characters like Francesca Findaber, Vesemir, or, again, early on between Ciri and Geralt, and also Nivellen. Characters like Cahir, Triss Merigold, and Geralt are finally more fleshed out this time. Prior to Season 2, most of the characters felt very flat and one-dimensional, which in my opinion was the biggest problem in Season 1. Graham McTavish's Dijkstra is a very welcome addition to the show and really excites me for his role of Harold Westerling in House of the Dragon. In general, I'd say a big chunk of the first episodes are very entertaining television. We also have a lot of undeniable flaws in Season 2 though, so let's get into the bad. Sadly, the slower pace gets thrown out of the window after episode 2 and characters jump from location to location within one episode. We are fed with a lot of action scenes that, again, are completely hit or miss. Some of them are great and others, like the one at the Temple of Melitele, are just really bad in my opinion. Overblown CGI effects, cringy dialogue to hype it up, and a lot of ex machina kind of scenarios. You never really feel like your favorite characters are in actual danger, because after they get rescued 2 or 3 times in the very last minutes, you just know they're gonna be alright. Some of the dialogue in the season is quite cringeworthy in general, and whoever wrote Jaskier's jokes this season is the type of person to browse 9gag all day and show you memes at work that you have seen 5 years ago. My god, is he annoying. I know he's there for comic relief, and I enjoyed most of his stuff in Season 1, but it's not the same anymore. He even managed to make the absolute worst 30 minutes of television I've seen in years worse, but more on that in a minute. I feel for the actress who plays Yennefer. Anya Chalotra is a very good actress, but this is nowhere near the Yennefer that I was hoping for. Her dialogue can get rough at times, and her storyline is just not believable anymore. She was saving innocent babies in Season 1 and betrays Ciri and Geralt in Season 2. Give me a break. Yennefer is a powerful and complex character, and she was reduced to a typical victim role in Season 2. Is it redeemable? Yeah, I like where the relationship between her and Geralt leaves off, but man was it tough to see her storyline this season. So much potential. It's a damn shame. Let's hope for the best in season 3. So, I just mentioned something about the worst 30 minutes of television I've seen in years. And well, sadly, it's the big action scene in the last episode. Why? Just why? Okay, Ciri starts killing witchers in their sleep, and Geralt and Yen arrive just as she was about to kill Vesemir. Okay, that's convenient, but alright, typical television stuff. So what else do we have? Geralt notices that there's something wrong about Ciri, confronts her, and gets attacked with a knife. Possessed Ciri then runs out of the room like a 10-year-old kid who just got his PlayStation taken away from by their parents. The next couple of scenes felt like an eternity. Ciri screams and releases a couple of bad-looking CGI monsters that the Witchers have to fight. We get even more of Jaskier's bad jokes in the midst of all the fighting, and Ciri and Geralt have a face-off with both just standing there and Geralt saying the same damn thing over and over again. Come on, Ciri, you can fight this. You can fight this. Ciri is trapped in a vision of her family, and it's the Witchers telling her to come home that sets her free from this trap. Of course, at the very last minute, Yen sacrifices herself and it's all okay. Once Ciri is back, she opens up a portal and we get to see the Wild Hunt in an awful CGI Mars-looking type world. I really don't get it. They managed to ruin a otherwise decent and entertaining season within the very last episode. So let's wrap it up. All in all, The Witcher Season 2 finally focuses more on character development, world building, and the very relatable inner struggle of its characters. Sadly, this is not the same for everyone, and in my opinion the last episode was so bad that it left a bad taste in my mouth and took away from my overall enjoyment of the season. I give Witcher Season 2 a 6 out of 10. And that's it for today. Did you enjoy the season? Did you like it? Did you hate it? Leave it down in the comments section below and let's have a discussion. Also, don't forget to subscribe. See you later.